data from nearly 8,500 kids from 2013 to 2016. They say eliminating fluoride increased the number of decayed teeth by 7.5%, and that more than 25 million children would have teeth decay within 5 years of a ban, costing almost $10 billion in that time frame and almost double in a 10-year period. The CDC and other organizations say fluoride is safe for children's brains at recommended levels. The survey found the majority of kids are either exposed to recommended levels or less than optimal amounts of fluoride, with only 1.5% of children in the U.S. exposed to excessive levels. The study was published in JAMA Health Forum. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Broadcasting live from the Engelhard Motorsports Studio.
Only the greatest promotion idea of all time.
Your local Polaris off-road headquarters. And heard everywhere on the iHeart app. This is WTSO Madison 1070 The Game.
Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Talking Golf is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Oak Park Place, Wild Rock Golf Club, Mercedes-Benz of Madison, TPC Wisconsin, University Ridge Golf Course, Ridgetop Exteriors, Southern Italy Imports, and Nevada Bobs. Now, here's your foursome for Talking Golf. Wisconsin Golf Hall of Famer Dennis Tiziani, Wisconsin Broadcaster Hall of Famer Paul Braun, Wisconsin Premier Golf Reporter Gary D'Amato, and host of his daily statewide sports talk show, Mike Heller.
I can hear it. Dave, you got to help out our guy here. He can't hear the program so
Same
far.
Stuff every week. He does come. You'd think he'd get it down.
Welcome.
People will think we're trying to get it so he can't talk or hear.
That's the second part. If we could turn the mic off sometimes, that might be a good idea. Now you're good.
Can you hear it now?
Welcome into live radio as we work on Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin in Madison. I'm Mike Heller. Paul Braun. Dennis Tiziani is right next to me. A little bit later on, we'll visit with Gary D'Amato. And then Nate Pokrass, the tournament director for what is now year one of the AmFam Championship at TPC Wisconsin. And Dennis, we were talking off the air. It's just an amazing success. It was, I think the weekend was fantastic. The golf was brilliant, and I think that the people that were here in attendance and the members all enjoyed themselves thoroughly.
Yeah, you couldn't write a better script. But AmFam, that group they have, they did a great job. They were with us and they worked very much with the tour. The tour was of course they've done this a number of times, but that group together, that was it. Our staff integrated with them pretty well. But it was, we all have kept our book to see how many little things that we want to do different. There's not a lot of things on there. No, not many. They did pretty good. And then the member room, that was a big item for me, that they had this whole thing here, and we watched Steve on TV, and I told you that, they would sit there and it's quiet, and then one of them would make a putt, and I thought I was in the stadium. They're yelling, so they had a good time. But overall, all in all, and the course played good, It didn't surprise me, however, that those guys won, because this is more like a links course than it is a regular one. So they knew exactly what was going on.
Dennis, as you watched television and saw the pictures of the golf course, after all these years of being here, what did you see?
Well, I saw the vision. It was right in front of me that we had to go ahead and do something with what's going on here under his original deal, the soil, the wetness, all those things that you hear about, whatever, and to see how all those things, we had rain and they just went out and played, like the rain wasn't nothing. And then get to see the playability of the holes. Now, there's some things that we did see, however, that maybe we'll take a look at going forward, some of the holes. But for the most part, hole by hole by hole, it played like we thought it should play. There's no hole that stands out, but they all do.
Yeah.
And you have to know, you got to be able to play golf from where they played anyway. You got to be able to play.
One thing that I would think you would not disagree with, the old reputation of Cherokee Country Club is gone ever.
Oh, yeah, it really is. We still have some of these guys, and they're people that are not competing necessarily, but they have loyalties to their club and, Cherokee this and Cherokee. Well, it's not like that anymore. It's totally different. It's more link style. This is pretty much the way it was when I got here 50-some years ago, We planted those trees, and, of course, then they got diseased. But, like you say, every hole, and all those tees, now number ones, they didn't play from all the way back, They couldn't. It's too far from all the way back. But to be able to see that, and then today out there to see our people playing the 3s and the 4s, sometimes
fun.
they go to the 2. Yeah, we're right back on it again. So, we always say it's not for everybody. But then again, if you want to play golf, this is where you want to be.
Well, we're going to get to some of that. I mean, we got some of that in the comments that you're going to hear in a little bit. Let's talk about Darren Clark and Thomas Bjorn. They win the championship. They were really good, and when they got it going yesterday, Steve and Mario just couldn't find a way to make some putts, and then these two guys just kind of walked away a little bit.
Well, they were really good, but, tongue-in-cheek kind of like. If Steve was healthy, it'd have been a whole different ball game.
Yeah, and we could see that. And then Steve won't join us tonight. He's with the girls at the Women's State Open in lacrosse. But you could see
he can't hold on. See with his left arm, and he's gonna be at he's gonna get, what do you call it, MRI type thing on Thursday, and but he can't. You can tell he's losing it all to the right. He hangs on, then he gets frustrated. I can see that when he's out there. And it carries over to all the stuff, Mario played really good, kept him in the game for a lot of times. But if Steve, I tell you what, if they're both healthy come next year, watch out.
Can you see Steve shutting it down for the rest of this year?
No, I don't think so. I think he's a player, number one, and that's what he wants to do. And this is a frustrating thing that he cannot perform like he did before. And we hit balls. And my comment to him was, don't be changing. Get whatever you have fixed. Don't try to adapt a different swing, because you're not going to find it. Next thing you know, you've got to rebuild again. So he's better off getting fixed and then move along and get the feel that he's looking for.
Saturday was so much fun. They don't play a scramble format out here on any of the tours, but that was so much fun. I don't know if they'll do it again in that exact format. But that was so much fun, and you must have been tickled to see Mario playing so well, and those two, your son and your son-in-law, putting up the best score of the day, and that must have been pretty cool, even just for you. And you don't beam too much, but that was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it was really good, and I think that that format, the scramble, is the easiest, right? Mm-hmm. And they should probably play that first.
Sure.
The other game where you each play your own ball, that would be good for a second day. Mm-hmm. And a third day,
I know where you're going.
Alternate shot.
Yeah. Steve talked about it in the post.
He did?
Yeah,
he did yesterday in the post-round interview. He talked about the idea of going alternate shot. How fun would that have been yesterday to go alternate shot? And it ramps up some of the pressure, right?
Oh, at the end, I mean, you're going to have to really play, So they'll work it out, and it worked good. Everything about it was good. I don't know what they would change. And you saw what happened here from moving players around, and, we got to build a cart path around the pool so the players can go that way and not go through the group. So that's not a big item, but little things like that as we go forward. The fella that I dealt with, it's not CJ, but I keep forgetting it. With the PGA, he goes to 25 of these events, and he says this is by far, and I'm not just telling you this because I bought him some Snickers. I said, by far, this is the best tournament of the bunch.
On the Champions Tour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, they talked about a potential record even in crowd on Friday.
Yeah.
They were checking it. They said they weren't official, but they thought it might have been.
Yeah, he said it's the most people on Friday they've ever had.
Well, we're going to have Nate on after 6:30. I think they've always been a little hesitant to give us numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe they give you numbers, but I don't think they put them out publicly.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that that the views of it and the people that we were running into, it was an incredible success. Now I want to hear from some of the people that were involved in it. We're going to play you a little sound. Tim Herron and Ernie Els first, because what their conversation about this. And Dennis, I think you're going to love what you hear from Lumpy, Tim Herron. Let's play that sound from Tim Herron and Ernie Els.
What I would say is I have 3 sons that are trying to play golf, college golf, and one's turned pro. I'm going to have them come down here for a week just to play this golf course and kind of learn about their game, because this is one hard golf course.
Yeah, if you grow up here and you play this type of course, you'll hit it like Steve Stricker. You'll be forced to hit it like Steve Stricker.
Exactly.
Because if you miss, you guys have played it. I mean, if you miss, you can really ratchet up a score. But maybe in a couple of years' time, we'll play an individual event again. But I think the team format's really catching on with the players.
Go ahead.
But one other thing that Tim Herron said after the press conference was over, a couple of people were talking to him, and he said he followed up on what he also had said earlier, and he said if they came down there and experienced that golf course for a week or two, they would see the quality of how good it is that you would have to play. He said, I can see where the instruction and the instruction facilities at that place are basically, you would want them exposed and have experienced all of that there.
Yeah, I can certainly see that. And just from a playability standpoint, Dennis, did anything surprise you about their ability at this level to get around this golf course and shoot the numbers?
No, we thought 30 under was the score,
Yeah.
and darn near it went past it.
Yeah.
But they're good. And like I said, when I went around with Jerry and Steve and Mario, I mean, they were in the fairway all the time. They're not hitting it all over, the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so it boiled down to just what we thought it would be. It's making putts.
What do you think they do in the individual side? Ernie talked about that. Maybe in a few years we'll play, the individual format.
Well,
I think it'd be different.
I
mean, it certainly wouldn't be that number, obviously, but
you're still going to be that 12 to 15 under. And they could make it harder. Just move it back. They didn't play from all the way back.
Right.
So you can make it a little bit longer, and then you can make the pins more aggressive. So, it's a tournament course. That's what it was built as, a tournament course.
Yeah.
But we built the tees so that our member and people, average types, could enjoy it.
Sure, by moving up a tee
That's
box
right,
or two.
that's right.
Also, the broadcasters, Peter Jacobson and John Cook, they were talking about this. Now you're going to hear this is during the tournament coverage. Let's hear from Peter Jacobson and John Cook.
The one thing I love about the TPC Wisconsin, John, is the fact that it brings pitching back into the game. We see a lot of golf courses built with greens that are elevated and a lot of drop-offs, so they're hitting flop shots. I like to see the players hit pitch and runs to the hole locations.
Yeah, not just hack out of rough. But let's see some imagination, different. Choose different clubs, not just grab your 60 degree and go in there and hack it out of rough.
So your reaction to, you've said many of the same things.
It's it. I watched him on 16. The pitches from a downhill to a short pin, and it looked like he bladed it. Next thing you know, it stops right next to the hole. I mean, I think what you see here is the natural ability of those players, or the natural ability they have to produce shots here. And it was made for that. Michigan, there's a runoff. But the runoff is not into a rough. There's some elevations, there's some things you have to know there, but it really, you got to drive the ball good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hit the ball on the green. If you miss the green, you better know how to chip. And putting, of course, is a whole nother story.
I got to ask you this question because there's a number of people this past weekend that asked me. I've been around a few years, and I think I know you pretty well. They're wondering, you sometimes give people an impression you're thinking one way, and maybe in reality you're thinking a different way. You came here with $70 or so in your pocket about
63.
50. Well, how many? 50 years ago? Or
53 now.
What, seriously, after this weekend, what are you thinking? I mean, in terms of all the stuff you've gone through, all the things you've done, the legacy you've established and that kind of thing. What are you thinking?
Well, after a while you get, it's what you leave behind that counts. And if you take a look at what we're doing for Left Behind, when you take this business of the golf swing and all the things to it that all the people working here now are picking up on, it's this facility, So, again, you can't take it with you. And I've been fortunate, obviously, in a lot of things, but to be able to accomplish this, and I already know that they're jibber-jabbering about another tournament here. And, I think we talked about this up in Minneapolis. That was a...
at the course in Blaine. Yeah.
Blaine, but that was a senior tournament.
Yeah. And now it's
a 3M.
Yeah.
So I don't know what AmFam has in mind. Bill Westrate is a friend. I teach him and his daughter, and he's a CEO now.
Mm-hmm.
So we stood on the deal here, and he just was he was ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And I had to lean over and I said, Bill, you and I, we can do whatever we want to do.
What are you most proud of?
You got to
seriously. What out of this part of your life?
About what's going? Well, you have a membership, and you're always. But I have a membership here. I do different than where I grew up and stuff. Somebody's always bitching about something, I don't hear that here.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and we are going along the road of building our membership around the women's golf, and to have these girls come in here,
Mm-hmm.
And my wife is with me, right, Bob? She's sitting at the table, and these girls come over and they give you a hug and they do this and everything, and she's watching them.
Yeah.
She's not used to seeing that. I said, honey, it's the way it is. So to see them and the people being happy in golf, how can you beat that?
Yeah.
I just left here with Jimmy, and the kids walking out and they're high-fiving and they're doing this. I mean, how good is that? If, in fact, that golf, and that's what you're into, golf, and making people be happy in golf. And I've told you 100 times, people that we teach, and you don't ever charge for nothing. I said, look at that kid is happy.
Yeah.
And they write a check to the Golf Foundation.
Sure.
Find your passion and give it away, right?
That's
why
you
do it.
Well, that's how you do it. I mean, there's a lot to that, You want to get ahead, you help other people get ahead. So all those things now that I'm 50 years old,
30 years ago.
Well, not
30 years ago.
But I have to tell you this one story. I have to tell you this. Do we have time?
Sure.
It's my show. It's time, right?
Yeah, you're in charge.
But anyway, the horn blew, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all the people came in.
Yeah.
And this guy said, oh, I did that. What do you mean you did that? I said, well, where I grew up, my dad would say, it's a nice day. He said, blow the horn. Blow the damn horn. I said, for what? Blow the horn. And then we'd all come in, and then he would keep track on the register of how much money was taken in. Right? And when it got to $200, he would say, okay, blow the horn. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. And they all laugh like, come in. And, of course, they're at the bar. They're buying merchandise. They're going nuts. I said, so it was a plan, You're so full of it,
Now blow the horn and get him back out there.
Get him back out again. Yeah.
Perfect.
That was cool.
Gary D'Amato is going to join us on the other side. He was here all weekend long. It was a fantastic week. I want to get his thoughts on this. Also, there's golf going on in lacrosse at the Women's Open in the state of Wisconsin, and the round one is complete there. We're going to visit with Gary D'Amato. He'll join us when we come back. This is Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin.
Your golf game need a pick-me-up? It's one-stop shopping only at Nevada Bob. Joel and his crew can equip you.
Clear. Break number 1. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Arts, apparel, balls, you name it, and they got it. Isn't that right, Joel?
Your game, your store, always at the best price. 12-time PGA Tour winner and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker for Wisconsin Honor Flight.
The past decade, the Wisconsin Honor Flights have recognized the men and women of our armed forces by escorting them to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials built in their honor. These honor flights have served the veterans of World War II, Korea, and now we are making a push to give all Vietnam veterans the welcome home they deserve. If you are one of these war era veterans or know of one, please visit wisconsinhonorflight.org. Find the hub near.
Gary is on the line. Gary's on the line.
Ordinary car when for the same monthly payment you could be driving something extraordinary. Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hey guys, it's Mike Heller for Lombardi Limonada. You know this is my time of year, hitting the links, grilling out, boating. Better weather means Lombardi time. Lombardi Limonada, an Italian-inspired hard lemonade, locally owned and made with all natural ingredients, none of those artificial sweeteners. And it goes great with just about any summertime activity, anytime, anywhere. Loosen up by picking up some Lombardi Limonada today at your local Festival Foods and make any time feel like summertime with Lombardi Limonada.
Escape to Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells, where championship golf meets breathtaking natural beauty. The perfect golf getaway awaits, with numerous luxurious lodging styles, perfect for groups of any size. Carved from the natural beauty of the area, Wild Rock is set against rolling hills, rugged terrain, and views you won't forget. Book your next round or stay and play package today and get ready for an exceptional golf experience. Visit wildrockgolf.com for more information. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, Matt LePay, your friendly game announcer for Ridgetop Exteriors. Is your home ready to stand out this season? Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they've delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com for your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Your golf game need a pick-me-up? It's one-stop shopping only at Nevada Bob. Joel and his crew can equip you, dress
10
you,
seconds, you got
Here's
10.
the best part. New or used, clubs, shoes, bags, carts, apparel, balls, you name it, and they got it. Isn't that right, Joel?
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
Mics are on.
Back with you. It is Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin on a Monday. Mike Heller, Paul Brown, Dennis Tiziani. We welcome in Gary D'Amato, who spent the weekend here with us in Madison at the AmFam Championship. And Gary, I won't try to set you in a certain direction. I just want to get your reaction to what this tournament was here this weekend.
Well, guys, thanks for having me on again. I thought it was a great week. I mean, it was almost the perfect week, as I wrote in my story, except for, the wrong guys won, you could say.
Sure.
Everyone was obviously pulling for Strick and Mario. But if they couldn't win, I think the tournament got great champions in Darren Clark and Thomas Bjorn. The weather was great except for, 3 hours on Sunday. And the course played great. Everything was really good about it. I was pleasantly surprised. I was looking for things, maybe not to like, and I couldn't find a single thing. And the players love playing there, too. So I think it was a win-win for everybody involved there.
Okay, so we'll get to the course here in a minute, but a lot of people talked about this format going in. It was obviously something different, playing a two-man team game all weekend long, including a scramble format on Saturday that just isn't done on any of the tours. What was your impression of the format and how it worked out?
Yeah, I like the format. I know there's already talk about maybe tweaking that scramble format and making it a modified alternate shot.
Right.
But I thought the scramble worked great. There were obviously some fantastic scores. One thing I noticed really funny about it is guys aren't used to playing scrambles, because I saw Mario a couple of times. He'd have a 4-footer or a 3-footer. And he'd pick up his coin and almost putt, and then he'd say, oh, wait a second, if I miss this, Steve still got a putt.
Yeah.
And then he'd have to put his coin back down. So, they weren't used to playing that format. They played in Pro-Ams and stuff, but not in tournaments. Certainly it's never been done on the PGA Tour. So all in all, I thought it was really good.
So we don't know until we know as far as scoring. So this golf course, you've been on and around it a little bit. How did you think it played up at this level with this tournament and these players?
You know, it's funny. We were predicting scores before it started, and I predicted 30 under to be the winning score, and it was, what, 32?
32.
Yeah, 32. So I was off by a couple. You know, you expect low scores. Certainly if guys keep the ball in play, which the top teams for the most part did, they're going to have lots of looks at birdie, right? And, they're going to convert. And in the scramble format, obviously you're going to have 2 birdie putts on virtually every hole. So, you expect some low scores, and that was kind of right in line of what I was thinking was going to happen.
How did you think, Gary, Mario did, and what did that weekend, in your mind, do for him in terms of how you look at it and that type of thing?
Well, Mario on Sunday, played with 3 Ryder Cuppers, right? I mean, those guys, those Europeans have a ton of experience in international competition, and obviously Steve does too. So, he more than held his own on Saturday on the back nine. He really carried Strick. I mean, Strick had a great front nine and made a lot of birdies, but it was Mario on the back nine hitting, for the most part, the great shots, and he made a bunch of putts. And I think that has to do wonders for his confidence. Mario didn't play as much golf for a long, long time, and he's just establishing himself on the Champions Tour. And I think, he's probably seeing, hey, I can play with every one of these guys. So I think it had to have helped him.
And I think get your thoughts on Steve, although he didn't visit with media after the final round other than his network interview just outside the players' room obviously his physical condition right now is not allowing him to play, and I don't know that he would have played if it wasn't his tournament this weekend. What are your thoughts on where Steve is?
Yeah, he probably would not have played. And he did meet with us with a small group of reporters for about 20 minutes. He was very gracious with his time. Yeah. And we asked him about his health, and, it's obvious he looks uncomfortable. He's missing those shots 20 and 30 yards right, which he never does when he's well and going good. So, it has to be affecting him. I know he talked about getting MRIs and some neck surgery on tap, but he said it's his back that really bothered him last week. He couldn't get through the ball, and so he was leaving everything out to the right. I think Dennis talked about that a little bit ago. But he's got to get that addressed. And like Darren Clark, I asked Darren Clark, you know the guy was in pain. Do you sympathize? And Darren said, we need him on this tour. He makes our tour so much better when he's playing on it. So hope he gets fixed, and I hope he's back and playing like we know Steve Stricker can play. So, I hope Steve's healthy and gets whatever needs to be done to get him back out there playing the way he knows he can play.
Dennis, for people that are hitting the ball to the right, what causes that, and why is it happening with Steve?
Well, it's called being stuck, okay? And when the spine angle to your pelvis is out of whack, not square like it should be, you cannot rotate to the left. If you cannot rotate to the left and finish your stroke to the left, it's going to the right. So he's trying to do it, and he gets into a certain position, and you'll notice all those swings. Elbow is leading, butt ends up in the air. Elbow down, butt end down. But when your elbow leads, it's called a block. And what it does is it blocks the club from turning over. So once he gets that right, and my suggestion to him was just get this over with, get fixed up right. Don't try to. We could do things to fix that. Easy enough. We could fix his grip.
But that'll
we
cause
could do
other
this.
issues.
But then what?
Yeah.
There we go again. And he's a field player. And he knows how I feel that physics, get the physics correct, will give you the feel. The feel will not give you the physics.
Yeah.
And the physics I'm talking about is how his core body and his pelvis and his, spine line up. So, he has a mind of his own, and that's what makes him good. And in the teaching process, what I need to do is be a resource. So I don't say nothing till he says something, and then I respond, and then it becomes his idea, and then we're good. So, but we got to get better physically.
Gary, let me give you two final thoughts. One, on the future of this tournament, there's always going to be questions when you switch venues. I think those questions were answered, that the TPC Wisconsin is going to be a great venue for this tournament, correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we've all talked about U Ridge and how much everyone likes U Ridge, and it's a great golf course. Totally different kind of golf course than what we saw last week. But I think it's a tremendous venue. And I'll tell you what, Mark Hensby, the Australian, came in, I think, on Friday after the first round. And unprompted, he said, this is the best golf course we played this year, and it's probably going to be the best golf course we'll play all year. And that was just, nobody asked him that. He just came out and said that about the golf course. So you can tell that the players really appreciated playing a course that was in such great condition.
And then the Women's State Open. It began today in lacrosse. Chan leads at 1 under par after the opening round. A couple of names of note. Bobby Stricker is in 7th place, shot a 4 over par today. And Izzy is also tied for 14th with around, I'm sure she's not thrilled with 7 over. But so, Gary, that the big-time golf in this state continues. This is the busy time.
Yeah, we've got the... obviously, the WIA Boys State Tournament going on, and the Women's State Open, 2 more days to go in that, 36 holes. I've been pressed into action and writing about it tonight, so as soon as we hang up here, I'm going to call Chloe Chan and Elise Hoven, who's in 2nd place, Kate Brody, a bunch of Badgers up there. And, it just doesn't end. There's a lot of tournaments still to go this year.
Always great to visit with you, Gary. It was good to have you here this weekend. We'll look forward to visiting again next week.
Say, wait, now,
hold
this
on.
guy,
Hold,
this
please.
guy Hensby?
Yeah.
I hope that he doesn't cash that check.
Right, that's right. I was going to ask how much that cost you for have him say.
I thought it was a Snicker bar.
No, he wanted money.
Hey, Gary, thanks again. We appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks so much, guys.
Gary D'Amato, Wisconsin.golf is the website.
Busy boy. He's
no
be,
kidding.
But he does such a good job.
This state wouldn't.
He's a very good job.
Get nearly the golf coverage.
He and Rob Hernandez are very busy right now. You got the state,
it's unbelievable.
The state championship over at University Ridge on the boys' side, and the Women's Open, and right out of here, and the U.S. Women's Open a week ago, and we didn't even get to the U.S. Open coming up this week. We will talk with the tournament director, Nate Pokrass. He joins us when we come back. This is Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin.
12-time PGA Tour winner and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker.
Clear. Break 2, 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
To Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials built in their honor. These honor flights have served the veterans of World War II, Korea, and now we are making a push to give all Vietnam veterans the welcome home they deserve. If you are one of these war era veterans or know of one, please visit wisconsinhonorflight.org. Find the hub nearest you and download an application today. We thank you for your service.
Sculpted by glaciers, played by champions, the University of Wisconsin Golf Course University Ridge is open for play and awaiting your arrival. With more tee times open in 2025, you can reserve your next round directly at universityridge.com. Not enough time for golf? Enjoy our excellent selection of Wisconsin golf merchandise. Fine-tune your game at our world-class practice facility or grab a bite and drink at the W Grill. Put University Ridge on your calendar in 2025 and play where the Badgers play. That's University Ridge Golf Course.
Would you like more time to focus on your hobbies and less time with keeping up with your home? This is Paul Brown for the Arbors Independent Living at Oak Park Place. Contact the leasing team at Oak Park Place to find out how you can live your best life doing the things you...
Nate is on the line. Nate's on the line.
At Oak Park Place on Madison's East Side and in Janesville. Live life, live well. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Escape to Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells, where championship golf meets breathtaking natural beauty. The perfect golf getaway awaits with numerous luxurious lodging styles, perfect for groups of any size. Carved from the natural beauty of the area, Wild Rock is set against rolling hills, rugged terrain, and views you won't forget. Book your next round or stay and play package today and get ready for an exceptional golf experience. Visit wildrockgolf.com for more information. That's wildrockgolf.com.
If you're a golfer who
30
likes a
seconds.
challenge, consider being a member at TPC Wisconsin. The course provides you with a very challenging 18-hole layout that makes you think before you hit your next shot. After your round, you can relax at the completely renovated clubhouse. The new facility includes 3 restaurants, tennis courts, driving range, and
10
programs
seconds,
for
you got 10.
juniors, plus other great amenities. Are you up for the TPC Wisconsin Challenge? For details on becoming a member, 608-249-1000.
Mics are on.
We are lucky enough on a regular basis to visit with Nate Pokrass. He is the tournament director for the AmFam Championship that wrapped up at TPC Wisconsin this weekend. And Nate, I'll start with a congratulations, because you and your staff have once again put on a fantastic tournament. I know there is a ton of work. It's a labor of love and a passion for you and your staff. And congratulations on what you just did.
Good evening, and appreciate the kind words. Yeah, it's definitely a team effort. Everybody rallied together, and starting at a new venue ultimately was almost a full reset for us from a tournament operations standpoint. But everybody stepped up, and a lot of unique elements came about throughout the week. But everybody handled it well, and by all accords here, as we sit here the day after, we're definitely pleased with the results.
Yeah, so Nate, let's talk about that. You talk about a full reset. You've got a great staff that has put on this tournament for a number of years, since 2016 at University Ridge, but it is a complete reset. What was the initial reaction as once you got spectators on site and had that flow, because there are adjustments? What was some of that give and take for you and your staff?
Yeah, early in the week, as we hosted the Pro-Ams and some of the sponsor receptions and some of those other private events on the golf course, things really kind of fell into place well. The initial reactions to how the venues were built were positively received throughout the Pro-Am. They really felt the venue just showed well, and it just lit up when we got all our signage and branding in place. And so those initial comments and feedback of using our venues, using the clubhouse, all was going the right direction. And the logistics and the flow of how players come and go, and caddies and the media and all those entities and volunteers coming and going kind of naturally really developed really well during the week. So when we knew we got to Friday, the last element was bringing the fans in. And just from the get-go, our shuttle program worked as we expected. Just as they came into the venue, we were just starting to see where they would go and watch golf. And really just were pleased with how that came together. And the comments right away from the get-go from the fans they were excited. They loved the dual-hole viewing, just really liked all the ways the course was set up for them to engage. And it got us off the right foot early in the week. And then as Friday and Saturday continued to go along, it just progressively got better and better as the crowds got larger and larger.
Nate, from the perspective of the PGA Tour and the players initially, and I know you'll get further reactions, but overall, what'd you hear?
Yeah, positively received. Talked to a number of them during the Pro-Am, in the locker room before or after the rounds, and especially Sunday as they were leaving town, and all positively well received. They liked the golf course, the conditions, the greens, the fairways, tees were phenomenal. So kudos to Derek Leonard and his entire staff for preparing a golf course that the players liked. I heard the word a lot, true test of golf. So they could see the golf course in front of them. They knew there weren't blind shots, so they knew where they were going once they learned their lines, their yardages. But it certainly was a challenge. The players acknowledged, I think the true test of golf statement acknowledges it's fair, but it was going to work them, and they thought the team format was the right fit. And that team element really came to life throughout the entire early part of the week and then really into the weekend. You could tell they were really having fun, really enjoying it, and just it set a good set for us moving forward. That right venue, right format, players really enjoyed the event.
So I don't know that you officially release spectator numbers or have in the past, but how would this compare from what you have done in years past on numbers of people through the gates and on the grounds?
Yeah, as we were going into the event, our sponsorship was at a new all-time high from that standpoint. Our ticket sales were pacing well ahead of past years, so we knew that was going extremely well. As we got into the week and the weekend and daily results were coming in, our concession record were breaking new records. So all things considered, it was definitely a highly successful event. Really pleased on all fronts from that standpoint, and you could see it in the crowds. You could just see how they were growing every day. And what was unique as we learned from the crowds is our venues where we built them certainly filled up quickly, but we saw people walking the golf course, and that was a unique element. Certainly saw that at U Ridge, but because you could visually see all corners of the property. It was nice to see the fans follow along, get out on the golf course, and they could see it. You could sit on 15 green, and then they look down to 16, and it's like, okay, let's walk there. And then they get to 16, and you could see other parts of the golf course, so they definitely walked around, which was great. I think it really spread the property out. The players noticed it. The fans were following along, that all corners of the property had engagement, and really unique element that as we saw the construction of the process of our venues going, and you could see dual-hole viewing coming to life, and you could see the entire property, the way the fans embraced it really was unique and exciting for all of us.
Nate, I know the numbers aren't in yet, but I think it's good to remind people about this tournament, wondering about the value of it and that kind of thing. The proceeds, where do they go, and what's the economic impact? I know, again, we don't have this year's number, but just give us a kind of a summary of what this has done for the local and the area and that type of thing in the past tournaments.
Yeah, as you first on the starting end, as I touched on with sponsorship revenue growing, there's the element though of really keeping our tournament fan friendly. Adult tickets are $20, kids are free, military members, first responders are complimentary. So it really is family friendly from the front end. And then we were starting to hear some comments on the golf course and from fans in attendance. They're saying, "Boy, your concessions are really extremely low." Well, we've been doing that for the last 3 to 4 years. That's our way to give back to the fans. We're directly bringing the prices down so the fans can really enjoy it, and you could see the families lining up that come and have a burger and a soda and a water, and it's not going to break the bank. And that made it more family friendly and engaging from the fan standpoint. Now, fast forward as we get to the ending results. Yes, charitable impact is significant. We're just under $20 million in lifetime charity. We'll be breaking through that $20 million mark this year, and over $100 million in economic impact when you see all the players, the caddies, the fans, all descending on Madison and filling up our hotels around the area.
So you obviously in what you do, you'll get the feedback, and you guys will meet amongst yourselves. You talk with Kip McBride and their staff, and then Steve Stricker mentioned yesterday post round that they'll talk about format, in this two-man game, the better ball, the scramble, the better ball, and that they'll maybe tweak that. How does that process play out, and when does 2026 planning in that regard begin?
Yeah, 26 planning began weeks ago.
Okay.
As construction was going, you're one from a fan perspective and all that. You're seeing some unique elements and how the build is going and how you might tweak a thing here or there. So we already were starting it from that lens. As the players were getting on site and getting involved, you could kind of start to hear their feedback. And then, as Steve mentioned, let's continue to look at what the format is on all 3 days to continue to make it fun and engaging, as well as eligibility, how the partnerships are developed, how the field's developed, all that. And those conversations happen during the week with the PGA Tour. Already happened post-event, just with some ideas. Nothing firm. Ultimately, it goes to the player advisory board, and they have vote and ultimately approval on formats and suggestions. So it's a collaborative process. It takes time. I do sit on the player advisory board as the tournament representative for all our tournaments, so I'll be in the room to have those conversations. But all of it isn't coming about because anything went wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just how do you keep making it better and just tweaking elements to just keep making it that much better and work really well. But none of those ideas are coming off of the notion that something didn't go right this week. Yeah. Everything went above and beyond expectations.
Nate, in fact, the suggestion already coming from some people that were out there and saw it and that kind of thing. Hey, they could add stands around 13 and 14 and kind of fill that in around 17. Thinking, boy, that'd be a nice area for viewing too.
You're exactly right. You know what we talked as a team a lot about is, okay, we're going to build venues on your finishing hole. That's kind of the natural progression in PGA Tour events. You build on the finishing holes. But we needed to see where the fans go. You know, we can build venues, but you also, you know, the fans will tell you where they want to go watch golf. And they certainly filled our venues, so we knew we found the right spots. But you touched on 14 Green was full most of the day. It was really interesting right from the get-go that fans were starting to work their way out to the golf course. So definitely how are we going to grow and evolve 14 Green? 17, of course, great par 3. We'll continue to evolve that. 16, drivable par 4 was extremely wild. We had a group. Fans were really having a great time. I could see the players engaging with the fans in those venues on 16, both the tee and the green. So we have room to grow, and that'll be great. Our fans will keep telling us that. Our sponsors will as well, and we'll continue to get better and grow in that sense.
Nate, congratulations. Finish the way we began. You and your staff do a fantastic job. This golf course showed incredibly well. The tournament was very entertaining by all rights. Just congratulations on a tremendous week. We'll look forward to a lot of talk about 2026, but rest up and get that process going, and thank you again for being with us.
Well, thank you again, as I touched on, team effort, and couldn't be more proud of our entire team of bringing this together. And thank you to the community for coming out and embracing the event. Couldn't do it without our fans, and we're truly appreciated to have their passionate support.
Tournament director Nate Pokrass joining us, and we've talked to Nate. Nate, thank you. We've talked to Nate throughout the process, and you know, many times we've both visited on the air and off the air about how great they have done as a staff.
This year, over 1,000 volunteers for this tournament.
Yeah.
They were looking for balls.
Dave McCann. I wonder how many he grabbed. How many
this guy
you
here,
get a number, Dave?
Nate is. He's very good. He may be one of the better ones of anybody who runs a tournament. He's got her going. He's already told you he's working on 26 and stuff like that. And you notice how he talked a lot, but he didn't tell you very much.
Well, he knows
he's a
stuff
politician
he's not
a little
share.
bit, but the other thing is that when he addresses an issue, very calm, and comes up with an answer. But he listens for a suggestion and then goes from there. So he's really good to work with.
Yeah,
very good to work with.
Well, a fantastic tournament. We'll continue this conversation as we roll forward. This week is the U.S. Open, by the way, at Oakmont, which gets underway
just happens
on Thursday.
A major to be going on.
Correct.
We got 7 minutes left. And we're talking.
Well, Larry played in that Open. At Oakmont.
Yeah, he did.
He played in that Open. Okay. You know what I can't understand though? You know, are you breaking?
No, you're good. It's your show.
Here we go. But you know, they don't. How come Nicholas gets to talk on his show?
Oh, here it comes. He wasn't on TV.
Oh, you didn't get on TV, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. He owns the course. I own the course. He's got a deal. We have more. And he's on the show talking all the time, floundering around and stuff like that.
Might have some to do with 16 majors.
Yeah,
but
that's what
I was going to say.
He can barely sit in the chair, you know. And I had an opportunity there. They could have been there with the Pope outfit.
Oh boy,
business.
yeah. See, that's why we didn't do it. And we'll take a break. This is Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin.
Your golf game need a pick-me-up? It's one-stop shopping only.
Clear. Break number 3. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Clubs, shoes, bags, carts, apparel, balls, you name it, and they got it. Isn't that right, Joel?
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
12-time PGA Tour winner and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker for Wisconsin Honor Flight.
For the past decade, the Wisconsin Honor Flights have recognized the men and women of our armed forces by escorting them to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials built in their honor. These honor flights have served the veterans of World War II, Korea, and now we are making a push to give all Vietnam veterans the welcome home they deserve. If you are one of these war era veterans or know of one, please visit wisconsinhonorflight.org. Find the hub nearest you and download an application today. We thank you for your service.
Escape to Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells, where championship golf meets breathtaking natural beauty. The perfect golf getaway awaits with numerous
Dave McCann, you there? We're going to come out at 50. What's the plan? Okay, so we'll do a couple, the break, and then a couple to wrap it up. Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, your friendly game announcer for Ridgetop Exteriors. Is your home ready to stand out this season? Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows. Ridgetop has leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they've delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com for your free consultation. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities meet residents where they are in the journey with Alzheimer's and other form of dementia. This is Paul Braun for Oak Park Place. When you need to take that first step and learn more, turn to the experts at Oak Park Place. You'll meet a compassionate team who will help residents find purpose, tailored to individual needs through a success-oriented program. Oak Park Place Senior Living. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Hey, it's Mike Heller for Lombardi Lemonada Hard Lemonade. Everybody loves something new, especially when it's brand new and a taste of your favorite hard lemonade just in time for summer. Lombardi Lemonada comes in 4 unique flavors, crafted with all-natural lemon juice and no artificial sweeteners.
30
Crisp,
seconds.
Clean and so refreshing. It's a little slice of Sicily made right here in Wisconsin. Pick up some Lombardi Lemonada today at your local Festival of Foods or at Woodman's and taste the summertime. Variety packs or single flavors available.
Your golf game need a pick-me-up? It's one-stop shopping only at Nevada Bob. Joel and his crew can equip you, dress
10
you,
seconds,
you
got
and here's
10.
the best part. New or used, clubs, shoes, bags, carts, apparel, balls, you name it, and they got it. Isn't that right, Joel?
Your game, your store, always at the best price.
Lights are on.
Back with you, a couple of more shorter segments on Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin. Mike Heller, Dennis Tiziani, Paul Brown, Dave McCann, our engineer. So this week, the U.S. Open will be played at Oakmont in Pennsylvania. One of the things about U.S. Opens, and about Oakmont in particular, is really lightning fast greens. Now, those members that are going to come out and play here this week got fast greens,
Not
too.
like there.
No, but the question is more of a lesson question or playability question. When somebody's going to go play greens that are fast, what's the advice? How do they adapt?
Well, it's how far do you take it back? Whenever you're going to hit the ball, it's going to be difficult to control the distance. So no wrist break, only forward movement. That's how it works. That's how you should putt anyway. But the greens are undulating also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. But how tough can it be when this one guy shot a 63 there?
Oh.
That's where he shot the 63, isn't it? At Oakmont, Johnny Miller?
Yeah.
How hard can it be? A guy shoots 63 at a tournament.
You and your brother both played that course, didn't you?
I didn't. My brother played. I had to work that week. But he made it. He played it. He played in the Open. He didn't make the cut, but he played good. But I know what he did, and I asked him about it. He's hitting balls, practicing. Hit too many balls. You're so tired by the time the tournament starts, you can't finish. So it's something he would learn. As he gets going. But he played in. That's pretty good. Played in Open.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch, and this is what happens in the golf season. After a week from today, you'll be 3/4 of the way through the major championship season.
Okay, Mr. Tiziani, based on good putting, who's your pick for this weekend?
Same guy.
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty?
There's no question. He's just so much better than everybody else. And he's got the right attitude to do it, and he's playing just for the sake of playing. I think money makes a difference, but he hasn't got there yet. And he hasn't hurt his back yet, falling off his wallet.
Sure.
Carrying
that wheelbarrow around.
It is.
But he's really good. There's no question about it. Hits all the fairways. His ability to scramble is great. But watch putting. If he's making putts, it's over,
Well, and it appears to me, to go back to your previous comment about money not getting in his way yet, is he wants to win. He wants to beat the guy that's next to him. His goal is to win.
Some of those players, you're talking the Hogan area and stuff like that, that was their goal, was to win. some of these guys now are motivated by a whole different deal. I mean, I look at all the stuff they got on their hats and on their shirts and on their sweaters. They look like they should be in Indianapolis for 500, you know, with all that stuff. But you can't blame them for that either. I mean, that's what the gig is. And I think you got some players, they have families now, they got young kids, the time. They don't have the time to be at these tournaments. So they're playing 12, 13 tournaments a year. Well, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Nicholas did it, and he was halfway decent. But, you know, this guy, Scheffler's really pretty good.
When you played, did you have a sponsor? Who was it back in those days?
You know, I had a guy. He was from out in California. And at that time, he gave me $15,000 a year.
Yeah. You were rich.
Wow. What'd you have to do? Did you have to wear
well, you know,
a hat, or what did you do?
No, I didn't do any of that. I had to make sure he got any money that I won, he got his money back, you know, right away. But I ran out of money really quick out in California. And, you know, I happened to finish. I didn't have anything. No car. I had enough money to get an airplane back. So I went down to play in a tournament. It was an ancillary tournament. It was one of the, one of those tournaments. Anyway, I got there, and I finished second. And the second place was $3,000. Can you believe it?
Wow.
And I convinced the guy, can he give me the money before I left the tournament, not send me there?
You're right.
Can't send it any place. I need it. And I bet the first thing I did, you know, paid this guy back. I had to pay him back $500. And then I got an airplane ticket, and I got from California. I got back home. I had my wife pick me up at the airport for a while.
But you used to travel in your car and sleep in your car, right?
Yeah, I had a nice in the back. I had a bed in the back and my 357 right underneath there, so it'd stay right there. I'd park in the parking lot of the course that we played at, and I'd go in and take a shower and that sort of stuff, and then stay in the car.
Yeah.
And then Winger, Bob Williamson, remember Winger? He used to work here. After a while, I got to fly a few times, so he'd go, he'd take the car and drive down the interstate, window down. He's only got one arm, you know, so he had one arm sticking out. But it was fun. It's totally different now, however, than it was, because we used to travel sometimes 5 guys in the car, and if you pass gas in the car, they threw you out.
There you go.
Can't be doing that.
4 guys.
Can't be doing. Now it's down to 4 guys. You know.
We'll take a break. This is Talking Golf at TPC Wisconsin.
12-time PGA Tour winner and Wisconsin native Steve.
Clear. Last break. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Recognize the men and women of our armed forces by escorting them to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials built in their honor. These honor flights have served the veterans of World War II, Korea, and now we are making a push to give all Vietnam veterans the welcome home they deserve. If you are one of these war era veterans or know of one, please visit WisconsinHonorFlight.org. Find the hub nearest you and download an application today. We thank you for your service.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers, played by champions, the University of Wisconsin Golf Course University Ridge is open for play and awaiting your arrival. With more tee times open in 2025, you can reserve your next round directly at universityridge.com. Not enough time for golf? Enjoy our excellent selection of Wisconsin golf merchandise. Fine-tune your game at our world-class practice facility or grab a bite and drink at the W Grill. Put University Ridge on your calendar in 2025 and play where the Badgers play. That's University Ridge Golf Course.
When you or a loved one could use a helping hand, turn to the caring team of experts in senior living at Oak Park Place. This is Paul Braun, and when I needed someone to help me navigate senior living for my wife, I called Oak Park Place. They were with me every step of the way, from the first call through move-in day. Choose a community that promotes independence when you want it, assistance when you need it. Oak Park Place Senior Living. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Hey guys, it's
1
Mike Heller
minute.
for Lombardi Limonada. You know this is my time of year, hitting the links, grilling out, boating. Better weather means Lombardi time. Lombardi Limonada, an Italian-inspired hard lemonade, locally owned and made with all natural ingredients, none of those artificial sweeteners. And it goes great with just about any summertime activity, anytime, anywhere. Loosen up by picking up some Lombardi Limonada today at your local Festival Foods and make any time feel like summertime with Lombardi Limonada.
30
TPC
seconds.
Wisconsin is the Total People Center, offering you and your family a totally enjoyable experience. That includes a challenging 18-hole layout, a good variety of programs for junior golfers, indoor and outdoor tennis, athletic performance center, swimming pool, luxurious locker room, and spacious accommodations for family gatherings and
10
weddings.
seconds, you got 10.
TPC Wisconsin, a Total People Center and a complete game for the whole family. For membership details, call 608-249-1000.
Mics are on.
Final short segment, TPC Wisconsin. It is Talking Golf. Mike Heller, Paul Brown, Dennis Tiziani. Dennis, we get back to regular play, and I know when we asked you this will be a short answer. Yeah, well, it has to be. But we asked you last week what was maybe going to be your favorite day, and you were talking about Sunday and then getting back to member play and getting the course back to your membership.
Right. And that's what's going on right now. It's going to take us maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks to get rid of this stuff here. We can't wait to get back. Our members they want to get out to play.
Yeah.
It's their course. They want to get out to play, and it was evident today at whatever it was, 7:30.
Yeah.
All but there was 2 people waiting to hit balls on the range at 7:30 in the morning.
Perfect. And I'm going to finish how we started. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You did a fantastic job. You and this staff out here in hosting this tournament. It was beautiful. We'll talk to you again next week. Talking Golf, TPC Wisconsin.
#1 on your car radio preset.